Here's the thing, though. When we went live on Instagram for the first time, how did we do that? Was it like just like kind of off the cuff? I don't think we even practiced.
No, I never practice. I
We
just
just go
go.
live.
I just go live. I'm not a I you know when I have my guests, I
Yeah.
don't I don't have we don't rehearse. I just go straight
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, I do. I don't rehearse. I will. I'll send. I'll send like what do you call it? Questions beforehand. I'll do that, but I don't really rehearse.
I don't even do
Depending on who the person
that.
is.
Well, yeah, I
So
mean, I think if I have someone that's famous, maybe I'll do that. But
he
I
said
just keep
someone
it.
who's famous.
I just keep it as simple as possible because it for me it's just a conversation. It's
Yeah.
just a day-to-day conversation, and the reason why I have someone on is because I I am interested in them and what they do, and I think my audience will be interested in them as well.
Well, let me tell you what I just found out. So, I was reading about it yesterday, and they were like, you can schedule your live right on your
Mhm.
desktop, and then there's a calendar at the top that you want to click on, and then it'll link what you scheduled to what you're doing. Yeah, that
Mhm.
didn't work today because I was like, well, I mean, think about my wedding, right? You know how many times I practiced the live for my wedding?
Mm,
5 times. Yeah.
really?
Yeah, because it's my wedding. It was a wedding day, and the whole thing was I just wanted to make sure that I was able to have people who could not be there be able to watch it. So
Yes.
I did a lot of practices. The only thing I really wanted to go well on my wedding day was for it to be streamed live perfectly. Damn
and I
everything else.
and I happen to be sitting. I happen to be sitting behind the camera.
I know. I was like, I just want everything else to work out. So I was checking this because we sent the link for the schedule, and I'm like, okay. And I went in. Those two things didn't talk together, so it's okay. I have to practice this again to see how to, how to get it to
Well, the good thing
link up
about this
properly.
is that when you sent the link, it sent it in my time zone, which was
Yes,
good too. Like
yes,
you had it for one your time, but
yeah,
the link went to me and it was 2 o'clock.
yeah. So I'm
And
just like,
back in the day, people used to get like, "Oh, I thought you meant. Oh, I didn't think about the time difference."
you do have to say what time zone you're in. Otherwise, you get
Yes.
people who are like not. So no, I'm kind of miffed because I specifically scheduled it and did the link, and it should have been a simple thing of click this, click here, and go there. And I'm like, oh snikes, that didn't happen. That sucker did not talk to each other. But it's okay.
No.
I will practice it. We
Well,
will.
this is how we get better at these things. I mean,
Ah,
you happen to the link that you sent me just the most recent link was easy. I just went to it. You said test, and
yeah.
I went on it, and it was done.
I'm just. That's a good thing. So I like how all of that is working well. That part I like. I'm just shocked that this didn't connect the way I wanted it to. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh man. But it's okay. Like I said, it's okay. We practice things for a reason. Uh yeah. I mean it's not like my wedding. The wedding was a big deal. I was just like, I just want everybody who couldn't be here to actually watch the wedding. It's like, man, it's my wedding. And there were folks from all over. So I'm happy that that went well. I am. But let's
Well,
get, I'm trying to, I am multitasking as we go through all of this
oh no, no such
because
thing as multitasking. You know what they say about
no
multitasking.
such thing as multitasking. Yeah, no, I just hate that the scheduled one did not link up with this one, but that's okay. I'm letting all the friends and fam who were like, I'm waiting. No, that there's a different link, so I'm sorry.
Oh, well, okay.
My bad, my bad. Let me do one more thing. Okay, so can we talk about 2023?
2023.
I considered January my trial period. I didn't do anything really, but besides make plans, goals, aspirations, intentions, and then get things together. So February is when we're really getting down to business.
2023 came in with a on the plane and on a boat and on a train. For Christmas, I was on a boat. I flew down to Galveston and flew down to Houston on the absolute coldest day of the year for Houston and
I told
Galveston.
you, I said, man, hey, it's going to be chilly.
It was 60 degrees when I left LaGuardia Airport. And then when I got to Houston, it was 7 degrees. And
Yes.
the next day we were in Galveston, it was 2. And I said, I'm on the Gulf of Mexico and it's 2 degrees. My brain was just, I was like, you got to be kidding me. 2 degrees. So I started the year really going into the new year, being in Mexico on the Yucatan Peninsula, photographing the Aztecs, not Aztecs, the Mayan ruins, and did that in Cozumel and inland from Progreso, and it was absolutely wonderful being away for Christmas. I've only been to Africa during Christmas, but I've never been to Central America during Christmas, so that was really good, or Mexico in this case. So that was really cool. And then after that, I ended up in Puerto Rico immediately the
Yeah.
following. So I went straight from Mexico straight to Puerto Rico and photographed. Oh my gosh, the photographs I got in Puerto Rico, it's just I haven't even edited them yet because I haven't had time but they're just so Puerto Rico was so beautiful. I could not believe that I have a lot of friends that are Puerto Rican. And they always tell me, Ron, you gotta come to Puerto Rico. You gotta come to Puerto Rico. And I'm like, it's just like another island of the United States. I mean, I don't know why, but I never connected Puerto Rico to being a real Caribbean island. I always associated
Yeah. Okay. I could see
I
that.
always I always associate as an American territory, as a state, is maybe it's a part of America. It's probably not as exotic and not as beautiful. But when I got there, it was I was blown away. I guess because I wasn't expecting anything, so I was
Yeah.
blown. The
Yeah.
rainforest, the people, the food, the went to the old San Juan
Hmm.
and driving around the streets and just kind of like doing some street photography and seeing the homeless and seeing a lot of places that had not recovered from all the hurricanes, and
Yeah.
it was just, and then all the colors, the colorful buildings, the colorful alleyways, the el gatos, the cats were everywhere.
He just went there.
Cats, cats and lizards. Cats and lizards were everywhere, and I was just like, "This is incredible." But it meant for great photo opportunities.
Yeah.
Seeing the cats, seeing the lizards, seeing the structures, seeing all the history. Puerto Rico has so much history
Hmm.
and a lot of Black history. A lot of
Well, yeah, I
yeah.
think you if you shake that tree a little bit, it ain't likely to all we're kind of all in the same
It's
bucket,
we're
honestly.
all from the same bucket, and it was such a rewarding trip to go to. And then after that, came back home, hung out around the house about a week or two, and then I ended up in DC, Washington DC for the first time in like I say 10 years, maybe 15 years. I haven't been to DC in so long. and so much has changed. And it was so nice to be in DC
Mhm.
and see the Capitol and to see the the streets and then obviously going to the African American
Mhm.
historical culture museum was absolutely wonderful. And then I was back home for a couple of days, and then I was in New Orleans. So it's been 2023 has been nonstop, and then it's February, and and I started working on projects. I just did a photo shoot this morning because I do a lot of event photography, and that's pretty much
You
like my
do a lot of event and then landscape travel
landscape,
photography.
travel, photography. So I do a
Hmm.
lot of that stuff, and so I got to fulfill so many genres off the back, and but it was so nice that one of my clients, who I do a lot of their work for, what they do, and they were like, I said, "Do you need me to do anything for the season? Please let me know so I can put you on the calendar so I can give you
Yeah.
priority to the dates." And they did. And they came with one date, and the next thing you know, she sends me back a letter. Oh, are you available for this date? And I said yes. And then next thing you know, she sends me back another letter, and she says, "Are you available for this date too?" And I said, "Well, February is, so I just did a project for them last Sunday,
Mhm.
and I did a project for them today, and I got another project I'm photographing. These are all events,
Yeah.
and I'm doing another project for them on Thursday. And so not only are they hiring me to do work for them, but they're now hiring me to do events for their affiliates.
Ooh.
So they're partnerships, and so that's been really cool. So that means I have lots of editing to do. But I'm
You
trying to
know,
pop
you
them
can
up.
source that work out if
You know,
necessary,
you know what? And
because
that
it
is,
sounds like you're at a place for sourcing out some work.
I need to start sourcing out. The only thing about that is when I do this particular is a non-for-profit, so I
Mhm.
don't charge them my regular rates.
All
So
right.
you know,
Well,
so
then,
that's
have you considered using like some of the AI systems that will call and edit the way that you edit?
I, no one edits like I edit.
We can talk. We'll make sure to add in some AI conversation today.
Yes, I
But,
well, I have a couple of presets and stuff that I use on my
okay.
Lightroom, but and like I said, it's pretty easy. Event photography is very easy. It's
Yes.
it's not like when you're doing portraits. It's not like when you're doing headshots. I mean, literally, it's a whole lot of event photography is the closest thing that will, I guess you can say, is organized photojournalism, because you're
Okay.
documenting the event and you
Hmm.
are documenting what's happening in its time. There's no like, I mean, like I went there early this morning to just walk the auditorium to
Hmm.
see what was the best angles to photograph the stage. And because it was a school with students, I had to be aware of the making sure that the kids did not get photographed, or if they did,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
I can blur them out.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn my angles, but that is the only thing is what I call prescribed. Um, Events give you that ability to have a little
Yeah.
prescribed.
Okay. Okay.
But when I'm on the streets and doing like hardcore photojournalism, like for a protest, that is unpredictable. That is totally unpredictable. The only thing that's predictable is that it is unpredictable.
It is unpredictable.
And
But it sounds like, I mean, if the assistance comes from culling, right? Then you could get an AI program that could say, okay, out of the 500 photos you have, at least these 150 are the exact same image minus a head turn here and a head turn there.
Yeah, I mean, because usually what I have to do is I go through the photos, and now I'm a lot faster with going through the ones and saying, okay, this is blur, X, delete it immediately. I can delete in the camera,
You know,
but
AI can do that for you too, but okay.
really? See, I didn't know that. I did not know it would detect the blurs. So
Okay,
you're
so
schooling
maybe
me now.
should we pivot real quick? Should we
Yeah,
pivot real quick?
let's pivot. I'm up for
So
lessons
now
right now.
you're up for lessons. Okay,
Yeah.
so two things. One, we have Puerto Rico on our trip this year. So that's
Okay.
the husband. He's like, I want to go to San Juan. He's like, it's been on my list. So
It's
he went
beautiful.
out and got himself. He went and found a cruise. That's what he did. He said, I'm going to do this, and I was like, do I even know this man? Do I know you? So he went and found the cruise. Gwendolyn, the other day, 2 days ago, I got a flyer from Royal Caribbean for their newest
Okay.
ship, Icon of the Seas.
Oh, you
Right?
told me about that. Yes, you did mention.
I said, I'm going to go to the tip top of whatever they offer and see just what I could possibly get, right? Just see if I can afford such things. It came back with the price tag of 28,000, and my husband's
What?
like, first of all, depending on what season, what month you travel in, you could actually pay like 75,000 for those 7 days. We're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
come back to
sure.
that though, because Gwendolyn is not doing a $30,000 cruise yet. I'm gonna throw a
Yeah.
little asterisk,
Uh,
because the good Lord throw me a little change. Hey, I'm gonna
that's
do it.
right. That's
But
right. That's how you do it.
let's talk
That's how
about
you do it.
AI.
Yes,
Okay,
let's talk about AI.
so the last time you and I had a chat about what was that? Was it Linza, whatever it is? I forgot what it was. Where
Oh
everyone was doing
yes,
like that sort of like,
that the changing of their faces or and
yeah, the kind of
their
avatar like
their
stuff. And you and
avatars.
I
Yeah,
had talked about it. Now,
I
personally,
told
it's not
you,
my thing.
but I told you it was going to be just a fad. I mean, do you see people
Well,
doing it any
yeah,
longer? It's a
I have.
fad.
I believe everyone has made sure they canceled their trial. I believe they have done. They did their trial. They canceled it. Um, it is a very particular look. It is. I would say that was a fad. It's definitely a fad because you still have to have an actual image and what have you to even get in there. But that started the whole chat, or should say, conversation around is AI going to take our jobs, and are people going to be left without opportunities? So that
Yes.
particular, I'll say, filter, that would be a no. Like it has a
No.
place, but it's not going to take anyone's job out. So then in November, yeah, because it felt like forever. We got the word of Chat GPT, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing!" And people who are writers are going to lose their jobs, and creativity is going to die. Yeah, that's not.
We were just talking about that on my show yesterday. We were just talking about it
Like the
yesterday.
sky is falling. The sky. No, it's not. Okay. So the way I described it to a fellow colleague previously we worked with, it's like a car, right? So we have 2 feet. Okay.
Hmm.
If you want to get to the store, you can walk on your 2 feet and get to the store, right?
That's right.
Or you can take a bike,
Like I
right?
do.
You can bike to the store. You can get a motorized bike, get a motorcycle, and get to the store. Or if you want this closed environment with a little AC and music and ambiance, you can drive your car.
Yes.
Okay, it's a tool. It's a tool.
It's
Ideally, the
another tool.
tool to save time,
Yes.
right? Like that's the idea. If
However, college professors are having a breakdown.
All right, please.
College,
Well, yeah, they are, aren't they?
yes. I mean, anytime they're featuring it on Channel 2, what's that show called? Something Morning, Good Morning
Uh-huh.
on Channel 2 on Sundays, you know it's important.
You said, this is now making the news.
It's not only just the news, but Channel 2's Good Morning. That is like that's a the way you gonna call it. That's an iconic show that comes on Sunday morning.
Yeah, there have been a lot of educational institutions that are concerned about like the plagiarism and. But, okay, so let me just go back again. Haven't we always had concerns about plagiarism? Like I grew up with Cliff Notes. Remember Cliff Notes?
Yes,
I know you know Cliff Notes.
We all have Cliff Notes.
We all had Cliff Notes. I mean, like there's always been the concern of someone taking someone's words and not giving proper credit in their report. And we had encyclopedias. You had to make sure that you said, where did you get this from? You have to cite it. Encyclopedia. We had Britannica and Compton's. So we had the Compton's encyclopedia. So I mean so this is nothing new, right? It's like when you it's just evolving, but it's a time saver. It is. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that I haven't had to use some AI stuff to get some things done because it's like, look, sometimes I don't feel like starting from scratch. You could even say the same person's like, if you're going to do chicken and dumplings, you should get your mix and do this and blah, blah. I'm going to give me a can of biscuits. I'm going to chop them suckers into 4, throw them in the pot with some chicken broth and whatever else and be done. Like, I'm not going to be sitting around.
And it takes it all for you.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you're making chicken and dumplings, there's shortcuts. The idea is we have always used a tool to make our time more efficient. It's not a bad thing. This whole deal of digital versus film.
Yes.
If you have digital, you're not really a photographer. You're making a photo. Like if you go into Photoshop and you do all the composites, that's not a real photo. That's not real art. I don't know why the human experience always has to be one or nothing.
Because human beings always have this thing this position that they have to, things shouldn't change. Humans don't like change. Change is not something that's comfortable.
No, it's not. It's not.
Change.
Any change. Any change, any and all changes. Because think about it now. With anything, we are evolving. Because like I completely skipped in that little timeline of feet to vehicle. There was horse and buggy. Right?
That's right.
So in everything that we have had, now I'm here in Texas. There are people down in the South who will still get their horse and ride their horse to the cold snow. You can still roll up on them and they've got Chester like roped up.
No, it isn't so.
I mean, like, but we're in the South, so it works. There is still horsepower in Houston.
Well, the only
and we're getting. I know, right? I can't imagine. I mean, except for the mounted police, that's about it. But with us, the whole thing is instead of us typically, like you said, putting our arms around change and saying, okay, great, how can this be better for me? We go to a place of, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose opportunity. I'm going to lose. Like, you don't have to lose. It could just make it better. Now, we've got some comments. I'm seeing them come in. First of all, hey, BJ, hello, hi. We have the wrong link. You see, it's Spencer down in Atlanta. Hello. Thank you, Spencer. And my brother, I believe he is speaking to using the biscuits for the chicken and dumplings. Our father taught us well, although he did use my mama makes biscuits, but we gonna use some shortcuts. Like that's how we gonna do it. And Erica says, if there's no struggle, it's not real, right? It's almost if we have to have that struggle to just say, look how hard I worked. And because I worked so hard, it's like, well, that's your problem because I'm not working that hard.
But they don't, but also it's an understanding though regardless of how much AI or how much technology we have, it still works because now you have to learn the technology. You have to
Yeah.
learn what works. It's not like you press a button and everything happens.
No.
You have to know what the bells and whistles bring, and you have
Yeah.
to understand how to use them and when to use them.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you know what, I want to paint the photo red. There's a couple of processes to make sure that
You have,
everything
yeah.
is not red,
Hmm.
So,
But I also
yeah.
don't believe that we fully understand just how much our life is stacked with innovations. If we just do the basic counting using our fingers to count or an abacus, hopefully we're not dating ourselves, your calculator. I remember the little.
We were talking again. A lot of the stuff we were talking about yesterday on my touch base daily is that I remember, and BJ's in the room, and we were talking about there was a time. I mean, I studied engineering, so when I was in high school, there was a time where you weren't allowed to bring a calculator into the room. You had to calculate in your head all of those long numbers in math, and then they say, wait a minute, this is not making sense that our kids are going to, we got the Texas Instrument over here. Let's
Yes.
use it. And for those that don't know, Texas Instrument was
Texas
big
Instrument.
back in the 80s. It was like if you
I
had
still
a
have two of those
calculator,
calculators because they were expensive. You know what I'm
they
saying? So
were
you don't just
expensive.
buy them and just throw them away. Like you gonna keep them
No.
calculators.
Yeah, Texas Instrument was the calculator. That was like
Yes.
the
Yes.
engineering tool. And since we would start, because we would use because it had the ability to save in memory all these large numbers
Right.
that
Yeah.
you were that you were calculating. And but again, people were upset
Yeah.
when the calculator came out, when the
Yeah.
calculator was able to do more than just 6 times 6.
Hmm.
People were upset, except for the engineers,
Yeah.
because it improved their workflow. But the people, for instance, like these people that are going crazy about the AI and creating papers, they're not upset because it's hurting them. It's almost like it's jealousy
Yeah. It's
because
like, well, I didn't have to. Yeah.
because yeah, we had to work hard, so we don't need to. You should have to work hard. And
Oh. Oh.
but most of the young people or us, you, myself, we're not in academia and we're not making papers. This
No.
is great for the person that's working in their executive office and maybe can't talk to their secretary. This is a good thing. So for the
Yes.
rest of the world, everyone embraces it. But the professors, they're like, we had to
Uh,
work hard. Why should you not work hard?
I was just thinking of some of my final papers when I was at NYU at the Bops Library, having
Hmm.
to go through all of the catalog and find the book and and paying this for the microfiche film and all of this,
Oh
and then
yeah.
somebody's like, "Oh, we have this thing called the internet." But look,
So what?
consider this:
The internet.
no one's complaining about having the internet. Can you imagine if we were still doing retail sales with
Mm.
our little push button
Remember
register
those? Remember the push button
and
register?
the little tape and I mean, like, can you
We
imagine?
we've
I mean,
come
we are
a long way.
surrounded. Now, I don't use my microwave very often. I don't, right?
Neither do I.
Um, but when you want the quick something, you've got a microwave that will quickly heat it up for you. Now, even my popcorn, I will admit, when I do have popcorn, I have the old fashioned kernels. But I do have a thing to cook with. And I know, right? I went
Not Jiffy,
nostalgic. I went
not
nostalgic.
Jiffy, not Jiffy, right?
I sure do. I got my kernels. I went nostalgic some time back and got the little Jiffy Pop and the little dilly. right? Damn near burn that popcorn. You know how? First of all, it takes forever to shake that sucker. You're like, come on, like
You
really?
said, Gwendolyn, someone in the chat just said, "What's a Dewey Decimal System?"
you
You need
know,
to
you
explain.
know, you know. She know what it is. She know what it is. She put no. She put no. She know what it is.
A
But look,
Dewey, a Dewey
everything
Decimal
like
System.
we are surrounded by innovation and someone saying, "Hey, we can make it better." But just to piggyback on that, the whole idea of struggle. I don't know why, and maybe it's just our society. So I'm going to say American society because I don't know. But we have this sort of really kind of bizarre admiration for the struggle bus, right? Oh my God, I'm just barely making it, but I'm doing it, and I'm hustling, and I'm grinding, and now you and I worked at the Container Store, okay? We
Yes.
go ahead and put that out there. I started when we were go ahead and put it out there because you are my first husband, not legally, but we were like common law, like real talk.
Yeah.
And we didn't live together, but and I will never forget when somebody said, wait, Ron's married? Ron, Ron's married? I thought Ron was, and I was like, girl. Anyway, so I recall when we were designing closets, we were using
Mhm.
graph paper and a calculator.
Remember the paper? Yes, remember that graph paper?
Yeah. Now,
Graph
Houston, the
paper and
Houston store,
pencils
right, and a pencil. You had to
and
erase
a
and
pencil.
get your shit together. So when they brought in the idea of doing designing on a computer, I was like, sign me up. But there were people who were like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm
People
not.
were upset. People were upset.
And even to this day, you and I know this. There are people who are like, "Well, I can just do it faster by hand." Don't nobody care about you designing this stuff by hand. Put the numbers in that computer and
And
be
then,
done. I don't know why we are stuck with. I need to struggle. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
well, it's the same. Well, me, I always got to throw politics into it, but but it's the same. It's the same thing. You know, our country somehow, and it's only in America that thinks.
I know, right? You
It's
gotta
more of
be.
an It's more of an
It's an
American
American.
thing,
Yeah.
and where people have opportunity, they don't want opportunity. For instance, you say you go, okay, this person, we can get everybody in this town health care,
Mhm.
right? The government can pay for it. But there are people in the society are like, why? Why are we giving them something for free? They gotta take up their, they gotta grab their bootstraps. They gotta grab the
You gotta have
bootstraps.
boots. You gotta have boots. I don't have any boots to grab the bootstraps.
You gotta have boots to be, yeah, exactly.
Jeez. Yeah.
I mean, and that's the America, especially, all over America now these days, but there's certain people in America that this happens with some of my friends who are Hispanic,
Mhm.
and they get upset that there are other Hispanics that are coming into the country and they think it's a shortcut. They're like, well, I had to go through the paperwork. I had to do this. I had to do that.
Yeah.
How dare them come in and, but it's like, okay, yeah, you may have had it hard, but don't you want someone not to have it as hard as you did? What it's what
Right.
is it about our society that wants everyone to have it hard? It's like
And to suffer.
my cousin was talking about P. Diddy and his show. And they're all getting ready to learn about the hip hop and being executives, almost like the apprentice kind of situation.
Okay.
And P Diddy says, "Oh, I want everybody to go down to juniors and bring, they were all at Harvard. They had to go all the
Oh.
way down to juniors, and they had to get in the cab, or they had to take a bike, or they had to go through all this hardship." And my cousin, who's part of in the hip hop world, one of those executives there that used to be, and he would say, "Why are we making it harder for the people that come
I
after
don't
us?
know.
What
We're
is it
obsessed
about
with
our
it. We are obsessed.
obsessed. We're
Yeah.
obsessed for making it harder for the person that comes
Mm.
behind us instead of saying, you know what, let's make it easier for them.
Erica says, we are told that's how we get ahead by the people who are using us to move themselves ahead. Ain't it, girl? Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth, girl? Let me tell you. So, like me, when I was a manager, I was clear with my team. It's like, look, I'm not trying to be here all day doing this stuff. I'm too old for some of this. I mean, I wasn't, I was too old for some of this. Why y'all want to struggle? I don't get it. There's no need to struggle. You don't get any stars, no brownies, no medals for the struggle. It's ridiculous. Do your job and go home. But this
and
whole
you
deal of,
and believe
well, I got to do this for what? Like for what? I don't get it. I don't get it.
but yeah, but that's the way our society is wired. It's like
Yeah.
you have to, like, for instance, I always, because I've been to Europe, I've been to, I've lived in Africa for a short time, and people in other parts of the world work to live. In our American society, we live to work.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it's and the rest of the world looks at Americans and say, "What is going on in that country? Why don't they want health care? Why don't they want a life easier? Why do they
Paid
have to
time off.
struggle?
You can
Yeah,
have
why?"
paid time off,
And
but
people are
here I am.
protesting.
I'm still working. First of all, it's called paid paid time off. So what we not gonna do is take a vacation and then keep working. Like
Yeah, but it's an American thing.
not in this house. I'll tell you that right now. When
Yeah,
I would take my vacation, people are like, so how do you go on vacation and like not get any interruptions and not be worried? First of all, I ain't worried about Jack. Okay, when I leave that job, I'm leaving that job. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Nothing to
that's
do,
right.
like zero
That's right.
whatsoever. And it's called paid time off. Time off paid. So, so I'm not
But there
worried.
are
Now,
people,
granted, I had a
but
pretty
there are
good team. Like
people
I trust
that,
my team. But
but we have friends that don't want to take vacation. That don't,
right?
he don't
I
want to
don't
take vacation.
understand. Like, how can you not want to be on a beach sipping my ties? Like, I don't understand.
But that's only if that's an
Yeah,
American psyche. That
yeah,
does not. It does not. I mean, when you're in Europe, it is mandatory by law. You have 30 days
yeah,
consecutively
hmm
off. So you can
yeah,
take your 30 days, but usually most people take their 30 days in June, July, August.
hmm
But you have to have 30 days consecutively off. I
yeah.
mean, but I think because of COVID, it took something to set us back for a lot of Americans to wake up and say, wait a minute, I could take time off and life still goes on and I can still be,
What?
yeah, and what? I could work from home. Or, I mean, I don't need to be in the office for the
You
world's
mean
not
to
going to
tell
stop.
me this 2 hour commute to build company culture and like bond is not really necessary? What?
Ex- Exactly, exactly.
No good damn well
But
it ain't necessary.
But that's the way, I mean, the world has changed. Thank goodness. I mean, people knock COVID-19, and yes, we lost a lot of people, and
Yeah, we did.
and it was hard. I lost a lot of friends, a lot of people, neighbors, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
However, it was the first time the world light bulb went on
Yeah,
of what is important in life. So
yeah, I
anyway,
agree with that.
I don't know how we got from AI to
Well,
that, but
okay, because we're talking about using these new tools to benefit us
that's right.
and not just thinking that it's going to like eliminate jobs. Now, there will be some jobs that do get
Mm,
eliminated, right?
yes,
Or better yet,
yes.
they get well, they get sucked into something else. Because remember back in the day when they had like uh what was it?
Token.
What's that fancy
Let's go
word?
with let's
No, it's
see. Token clerks at the
oh,
subway.
token clerks. Oh, yeah, token. Damn girl. I forgot all about those people. Damn it. Yeah, token clerks is one. I was going to say travel agents, but they're making a comeback. Data entry is what it was. Data entry.
Data entry,
Okay,
right?
so
Uh-huh.
that's all right. So that's one. But that job has now been sucked in to like your regular everyday, like everybody pretty much does it. So it's kind of like,
Everybody
you know
does
what I
it.
mean? You know. So there are some things that are going to go
Morph.
away.
They're gonna
Morph,
morph into
morph.
some
There you go.
morph into something
Yeah,
else.
yeah. It'll just go to something
But
else.
that's called progress. I mean, it was so funny. I was in New Orleans and I was looking at the trolley cars, and I was like, "Wow, look at these trolley cars!" And because New York City at one time had trolley cars. I mean, before we had buses and
Hmm.
trains, we
Yeah.
had trolley cars. And I wasn't old enough to see a trolley car. I don't think. I think I only, no. I think I was at the very end. I was like 5 years old and I saw a trolley car. I think I was like 5 or 6 years old, and my babysitter was taking me across the street, and she said, watch out for the trolley." And that was all I remember of the trolley car, other than the museum.
Like, don't
The
get hit.
museum. Yeah, don't get hit. Don't let your foot get stuck in the track. Um, but I remember that last I was of that last age of the trolley car. And but amazing what I've seen from the trolley car to these to the old time buses, silver buses in New York City that were silver and green, and they just kept progressing, and next thing you know, I'll never forget we got the first digital bus on New York City streets. Like, the signs is in digital.
Yes. Yeah.
We lost our minds. Oh my God, did you see the digital buses? Did you see the
No.
digital buses? Technology.
Oh.
We're Star Trek. This is Space Odyssey.
Before I want to go down that technology thing, but Erica, she's up to no good down there. And she's like, on vacation, I'm concerned about when my next drink is coming. Ditto.
Yeah,
We're not worried about nothing else. Ain't nobody worried about like
nothing.
this job. My mother, and my brother will tell you. She would always say to take your time off and
Hmm.
take care of yourself because when you are dead and gone, they will find somebody to work your spot, and
That's
the
right.
world will keep turning
Like like this.
like this. You
I
know.
used to always say,
So
put your hand in a glass of water. He used to tell us when we were growing up, put your hand in a glass of water. We're like, oh, what's the heck of this? Put your hand in a glass of water. And then he said, take it out. He said, you see how that air was filled up? That's how the world sees you. Don't don't get so sucked into you're
yeah,
so important. As soon as
yes,
your hand comes out that glass of water, that vacuum is
yeah,
sealed,
yeah.
and you just
It's just
can't. Yeah, it's just the way the world is. It's called you. It's universal.
it's
Doesn't matter
universal. It's
who
going
you
to keep
are,
turning.
where you are.
Yeah.
The world's gonna keep going.
Mhm. Mhm.
And unfortunately, I remember I remember feeling guilty at the Container Store for taking time off.
Oh, you. Okay, so quick side note, I had some sort of lump, cyst or something. And I I knew it was there, but I didn't think anything of it. So it got to the point where I could literally look down and see it. I was like, well,
Oh
that's kind of
no.
serious. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, maybe I should do something about this. But it was going on during the Alpha sale. So I went to my doctor and he was like,
Uh,
oh, we got to go to surgery today. I was like, well, I can't go today. I mean, I got to make plans and stuff. And he was like, I'm sorry. But, again, young, I'm going to say not wise in understanding my health versus this job because I put
yes.
it off until right
Yes.
after the sale ended, which he was not
Yes.
happy with. Now, it was not life threatening, lucky me. But you ask yourself, you decided to wait to have surgery. You can clearly see the issue, like I can touch it. And you were like, as soon as I get through the sale, I'm gonna go
And
take care of that.
making some
It's so ridiculous.
and making it wasn't even your money you were making money for the
Right.
company.
For somebody else. It's so ridiculous. Yeah,
And you,
yeah. We it's
but
it's it's our society. It's our
it's
society.
our society, and that is it. I think that's the struggle, um with so many people. But again, I think COVID has helped us as a society.
Yeah.
It broke the fever.
There's
Um,
there's a slight little pendulum. I'm picking
but
up on some. I'm picking up on
but
some
people,
small vibe from some people, not all.
but the thing is, the old saying is, Americans have short-term, short-term thinking. Uh,
Man,
uh, they lose concept very fast. So
yeah.
there are people that are still going back into the workaholic mode. You
Yes,
know,
right.
there are
It's like
people.
they're
There are people.
addicted. It's like they are addicted to. I must be. I think to myself, there are so many other things you could do with
Yes.
your time. Like when we had to shelter in place, truly, because it was COVID and it was serious, and we were working from home. I thought, oh, I have time to read a book and cook dinner, and it's like, oh well, I don't know what to do. I got
Yeah,
all this time on my hands. Like,
it's a
but then
good
you
thing.
start thinking, it's a great thing. And then you think, okay, for the job that I have, it doesn't
Mm,
really require me to be in the building 5 days a week. That answer was no. It's like, no, it
absolutely
don't.
not.
It does not. It does not require that. Like it just doesn't. So why there are still some companies that are gung ho on going back to this old working method, I don't know. There is so much talent out there that if you open up your talent search to bringing in whoever from wherever, you would benefit as a company. You would benefit because you
Yes.
got top tier talent, and it's like, hey, Susie Q is doing just fine. That
Well, you know
whole
what?
deal of,
Well, you see what they're doing in Europe, in a lot of countries in
hmm,
Europe, London, in England, uh, the UK.
yeah,
They just finished their experiment of the 4-day work week,
right,
and they found that
hmm,
the productivity went up.
hmm,
The
hmm,
productivity went up, and the people were happier. So
yes,
they had a 4-day work week, and people had 3 days off versus 2 days off for their weekend,
hmm,
and the people produced more. You can check it on, like I say, check the Google
yep,
machine.
yep. Check the
Uh,
Google
the
machine.
the productivity went up, and not only that, the workers, all the team players in the companies were happier because you can't replace family time. And
No.
people, and a lot of, and this is men and women. It's people. It used to be people just used to think it was just women, but it's men too. Feel guilty and not about not being home with their children
Yeah,
or with their wives or their significant others, their husbands.
yeah.
People feel horrible when they have to leave those loved ones.
And you don't want to
So
get, like, if you look at the traditional, we'll say traditional American work history, it is to work,
the
work, work,
industrial,
save
the
all.
industrial age.
Yes,
It's the
save
industrial age.
all your acorns, and then what happens? A lot of these folks, they retire and then they like die in 2 months.
I'll
So
tell
you
you a
do all
story.
this work
I
and
think
you never enjoy it.
I tell this story all the time. I was 15 or 16 years old. My next door neighbor, Miss Hill, God bless her, but Miss Hill worked for the city, and then she worked for a movie theater um, in Flatbush. She worked night and day all of her life. Then she while she's doing this, she's building a beautiful home in Maryland. Beautiful. I think it was an 8-room house. She had all this furniture packed in her apartment. Like you could not even, when you went next door, you could not even walk her apartment because it had furniture packed up for her big home that she had bought, was building. And then she finally retired. She was excited. Everyone, I mean, first of all, it was hard for her to retire. She did not want to retire, but her family made her retire. She retires. She moves. We're like, Miss Hill is leaving because she babysit us. She was always watching
Yeah.
over us as we came home, made sure we got into the house safely. She always, that little peek hole always went up every day. Every time we're like, Miss Hill's watching us. Anyway, so she ended up in that house. She retired, and within 2 months, she was dead. She just died. And she wasn't sick. She just came home one day.
Huh.
I mean, I think her niece, because she had no children, because she worked so hard, she had no children. Her niece, I think her niece or her nephew came to the house and found that she passed away. And the thing
Jesus.
is, she had built this house from scratch. She bought all of this furniture. She worked day and night. She never enjoyed herself. And at 16 years old, I was glad that I learned that lesson at 16 years old. I said, I don't want to be me. I don't want to be Miss Hill. When I grow up, I don't want to be Miss Hill. I don't want to work all my life
Yeah.
and just work, 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 work. And then when it's all over, you look back and you have no memories. You have
Nothing.
no memories with your children, your
Mm-hmm.
family, your cousins,
Mm-hmm.
your loved ones. You have no memories. And that is, I think to me, that is probably the worst way to die, is that when you're on your deathbed, they always say that the most important thing you can do when you die is that people are surrounding you and embracing you because you meant so much to their life. Not how much you own, like
Mm-hmm.
not how much you build up, not the home you put on
Mm-hmm.
the planet. It's the relationships you build with people along the way,
Yeah.
the lives that you touched.
Yeah.
So I I think automation, and since we're on the subject, I think the automation gives us, if we use it right, gives us that time. It gives us time
Yes.
back to be able to do
Yes.
that and be productive. And we should be embracing it. You know me, I used to call you what? What was my name for you? The guru.
Yes, we would sit at lunch like so let's take this pivot. Let's take the pivot back to
Yes.
AI and culling images for you. So when we were having our lunch breaks and whatnot, we would swap out our
Phones,
technology
technology, our
information.
watches.
We were the tightest couple. We like I said we had our watches, we had our
Yes.
Samsung phones. We are Team Samsung. Nothing against Android, but we are Team Samsung. They are not the same thing. We gonna go ahead and clarify that today. It is not the same thing. Okay.
No, no.
So people are like, well, you don't have now. Nothing against Apple. Nothing against it. It's never spoke. It doesn't speak to my heart. Like I've never been like, oh my god, I want an iPhone. I just didn't. I don't know. I went from my Palm Treo to a
Same here. Remember,
BlackBerry.
we both had the palms.
We both had
We
the Palm. We
we
sure did,
both had
right?
the
I
palm.
would do my notes on the
We
subway. I
had
would
the
do all my stuff on the
palm,
subway.
and I had the palm three.
Yes. So we were exchanging, and then we got into the Samsung Galaxy family,
Yes.
and then we had our watches and our phones, and you know, and so now we're here because you had like, hey, wait, so you had what, the Ultra 21? Did you have the Ultra
I
21
I have the 20. I
or
have the
the
20
20?
for
Right.
2020.
And when we were there last year, he was like, wait, your husband's got the fold, he has the flip, and you've got the fold. They're like, oh my God. Yes, we are those people. We are those. I like how this says that I have things against Apple and I'm proud of it. Thank you, Spencer.
Yes, I don't like Apple.
So,
I mean,
but
yes.
that may have to be a whole nother conversation. I was never a fan of because I had bought some music in was that iTunes, whatever, but I couldn't take it with me. And I thought, I don't want to rent music. I didn't pay my money. That's my music. And I couldn't. And I said, never again will I ever buy a particular format of music and
Yes.
get so yeah. For me, I got burned. I was like, screw it. But we are Team Samsung, baby. Team Samsung all
We
day,
went,
all night.
and it was so funny because we did. We both went from, but you also had the BlackBerry.
I did have BlackBerry. Erica says she's Team Samsung too. Yes, I had a BlackBerry tour because I thought it was so cute. Like, oh my God, that's all. We got at least two more conversations here about technology. But even more so for companies who choose not to evolve and who choose to get comfortable and stay where they are, what
Exactly.
happens? That
They
in
die.
itself is another conversation.
The company dies. I mean, think about, I mean, I remember studying when I was in school, when we used to study marketing or we used to study business, different business models. And we would say that like Sears, and I remember my teacher when I was in college, my first year in college, he says, Sears is about to die. And we were like, Sears is like
Yeah,
who's hating on Sears? He
yeah,
said Sears is about to die. And he says because they have not progressed from the catalog to going to online. JC Penney had gone online,
yeah,
Walmart was coming in. Now you had the Walmart
yeah.
company, and everyone was now going online and trying this new thing called the internet. And but Sears was like, oh no, we're gonna hold to our catalog. And my teacher, I'll never forget, he says, if you are going to be in business, you can't be afraid to evolve.
Yeah, you gotta evolve. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, okay, so Spencer's Team Samsung, and he also said, "Man, we used to love to get that Sears catalog, man.
All of us.
That big book, and you flip the pages, and then you fold down the little corners, and you highlight it and circle,
My
hoping
mother,
and
my
wishing."
my mother worked for Sears. My mother worked for Sears for many, many years.
Hmm.
And my mother used to, she used to, have the Sears in New York City when they had their headquarters here before they moved to Chicago after building the skyscraper, the Sears Tower at that time. My mother used to come home every October, I would say, Octoberish. The Sears Christmas calendar Christmas catalog came out. And so
Love it.
my mother, because she worked at Sears, she got major discounts. And then some of the actual toys would be in the Sears store, the
Hmm.
employee store. Because Sears used to have an employee store on in their headquarters. And my mother used to say, okay, you get 5 gifts apiece to my sister and I. Pick what you want from the Sears. Like you said, take that
Hmm.
page, print that
Hmm.
page down, or take the black marker and go around the SKU. And my mother was every Christmas though, that those toys would be under the Christmas tree. But again, I mean, but think about it. I mean, Sears, when they had the catalog, they were the most, they were the top retailer in
They
the
were,
world,
yeah,
because they had taken something that no one had, a catalog.
yeah.
And then, but and this is, and not the negative about our company that we used to work for, is that our company used to be the top of the retail chain. We would call it retail companies, top 10 in the country to work for. When we went to that company, it was like, it was wonderful. It was like an oasis in the retail desert. And we had all kinds of benefits and Christmas, birthday parties, and it was a really great place to work for. But what happened was, when you are so good at what you do, and you don't realize that your goodness is only for a season, that you should be always striving for new technology. I'll never forget,
Hmm.
I was hired for fresh eyes, as they said. And I mentioned to them when I first got hired, I said, all these fake monitors around the store, they should be real monitors and have our products
Hmm.
on loop.
Hmm.
This is when I first said, when I first started, it's like, 12 years before I left this company. The first day they asked me what I think of the store. Gave me a whole tour. They sent me to Texas. I learned all the stuff. They sent me to Texas for visual merchandising. They sent me to Texas for this and all. They invested in this. They said, oh, you're on the fast track to management. So we want your fresh eyes. And I said, the first thing you need to do is all of these fake monitors, make them real. Make them real and put the store products on a loop. It took them 14 years when I left. I left in 12 years. And then when I left the company, I remember someone said, Ron, remember you talked about the monitors in the store? And someone said, yeah, our products are now on the screens in the store. It took 14 years to implement. And I'll never forget when the company went public, people were like, oh my gosh, the store is great. And they bought, the
Yeah, I
stock
remember
was
that day.
raging. The
Yeah.
stock was raging. People were like, we're going to invest. And now you look at that stock. And it's because, again, I say not just in retail, but it's any company.
Any company.
It's ourselves as small business owners. We have to keep pushing the envelope. We
Hmm.
have to keep pushing what's new. For instance, I just got, I'm listening to Gary V this week, and Gary V was like, you guys need to get on YouTube Shorts. You guys need to get on there. And I said, and I'll not forget when Gary V, back in the day when TikTok was not even like, it was just like a small little app just on the, and he says, guys, this is something big. You got to get in on it. And then there's some people in the world that are just good with, I call it technical forecasting. I think Gwendolyn's
Yeah,
good at forecasting. And so you can tell,
I'm good at hosting. I will research some things. I don't mind bringing people on to share their
yeah,
expertise. I don't mind hosting a community.
hosting it.
I love hosting communities and bringing ideas and having that conversation. That I
Yeah.
absolutely enjoy. But I like to read
But
some shit. Yes.
but I like to read. Like when someone tells me, "Oh wow, they're coming out with this," and this is what I used to call Gwendolyn the guru, is because I would walk into our break room, and I would say, "Did you see what Samsung just announced?" She go, "Oh, I'm already on it."
I know. It's still happening. It's Spencer will tell you it is still happening. We are still sending out stuff like, have you seen this? Do you know about it? Did you read about the so and so? We are still doing that. It's just good to be aware of what's going on. But evolving is hard for humans because a lot of us want to get to a level of mastery, right? I've become
Level
a
off,
master. The
level
problem
off.
is that when you master, you stop learning.
Yes, right.
You get stagnant and you stop. So the idea is to never master anything.
That's right.
No,
You should
never. You
end
should be a lifelong learner.
a lifelong learner, education. I look at some of the people in my life that are around me that are just hungry for education, hungry
Yeah,
for food. It's like learning is just like eating for them. If they
yeah.
don't eat, they will die. But if they don't learn technology, I always said I wanted to be. I mean, I was just going through. I'm getting ready to get an extended hard drive for my computer,
You should get a NAS
and
drive.
okay, you're the second person to say it.
Spencer, I need you to reach out to Ron, hook him up, let him know that if he wants to make a good one-time investment, he needs to get a NAS drive.
Spencer, I need you. Because I was online and Omar, my mentor, he says the same thing. He says I need this, you know, what's it called?
Yes,
The
a NAS drive. Just go ahead and get
NAS
one
drive.
and be done.
And he says you got to
Be
get.
done.
And so I was like, I'm confused. I can't figure this thing out. It's driving me crazy. All these extra, I'm reading all this information, and then and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm out of the loop. And I was like, oh my, I usually know this technology. I usually keep technology at front of mind. And I did not understand the language that they were using. It
Yeah.
was like a different planet. I was so frustrated. I was
But
like, what are they talking about?
okay, so let me say this. So when I was attending Dreamforce in 2019, President Barack Obama was speaking, and one of the messages I took from his presentation was you can't know everything. You're not supposed to. But
No.
if you surround yourself
There
with
you
subject
go.
matter experts, you're going to be all right.
You're gonna be all right.
I know that Spencer is pretty damn good when it comes to technology. The man knows his shit. That's all I gotta know.
Well,
Matter of
well,
fact,
Spencer.
I will say that when I was self-teaching myself SharePoint and things went awry, I was like, I called, I called the resource center. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. I don't care. And they were like, well, it could be this, it could be that. And I was like, bye. I was like, Spencer, I need some help. I got things to do. Can't nobody here help me. And got myself back together. So it's a
Well,
matter of knowing different people, and this goes back to sorry, been an hour. Goddamn. And it goes back to like one of my points of building a community. You need people who look like you, who don't look like you, who are in your field, who are not in your field. You need
yes,
all those people to have a
yes.
well-rounded community.
Well, you know what they said. There was a author. I forgot who was writing the book. One of these guys that does a book on all the presidents, and he said he goes, "Who are the best presidents? Are the best presidents that you've written about and that you got to know personally?" And he says Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. And he says not because they were the smartest person in the room. They made sure that they filled the room with the smartest people.
Right, right.
Isn't
You
when you
got to
think
be
about it,
smart about it. Yeah.
you got to fill the room with the
Yes.
smartest people. You don't have to
Yes.
be the smartest person in the room.
Nope.
You just have to
Nope.
fill the
Nope.
room with the smartest people.
Now, understand this though. In order for you to even operate like that, you have to be secure in who you are.
That's
Because a
true.
lot of us go back to this, it's all about me and I'm top dog and I can't share the space with somebody else and I can't share the platform. I don't really give a goddamn. I don't mind. I bring
Exactly.
on people from, I have had, I said it before, I'm going to say it again, Erica's art is not like my art. Repping Erica all day because she's doing some
That's
different
right.
type of
That's
stuff.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't feel as if we're in competition. We are not on the same plane. No, I do natural editing. I would take care of your rosacea, your acne, right? Erica's making like composites and shit.
Heal. Yes, that heal button is amazing.
So I don't mind sharing my platform, be it Instagram or YouTube or whatever else, LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
I
Same
have
here.
no problem promoting somebody else and their art or their business because there's enough pie for everybody out here. And
It's enough for everybody.
if anything, what if I needed one of those persons who say, for example, I have a job to do, but they also do videography. Great. We can do this together.
Yes.
Right.
I'm a believer. Well,
But
you know me. I'm a
I,
believer of that.
well, that's why we're like somewhat married, but not really married. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
So we come
So,
from the
but you,
same
I
family.
know, but everyone doesn't have that level of security, both in
Insecurity.
themselves or their business, that they are comfortable with openly promoting other businesses
I will
and
promote
letting someone
other.
come
Yep.
on and say, yes, I'm also a photographer and I'm in blah, 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 and I do
Yes.
this. It's like, look, have at it. Do
You know,
whatever you want to do.
it's so funny you would say that because I'm one of the ambassadors to the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce here in New York City. And so traditionally, in most networking groups, it's been one of everything in that group.
Yep.
So one
Hmm.
dentist, one acupuncturist, one editor, one writer, one. It's always got to be one.
Hmm.
So I proposed to my group that now that I'm the president of one of the groups, I said, I do not want to run the group in a traditional way because I believe that even if I'm the photographer in the group, I'm not threatened by other photographers joining the group
Hmm.
because every photographer has their own style, their own way of
Yep.
seeing the world, their
Yeah.
own way of doing their business, their own, you know, everyone has their signature. And 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 people are going to hire people based on their connection of that person. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, but
Yeah.
number two is that because there's two or three photographers in the group, when I can't do something, I can refer
Mm-hmm.
her or him to the other two
Mm-hmm.
photographers in the group.
Yeah.
And now we all eat, we all grow together,
Mm-hmm.
we all are each other's ears and eyes for business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's I'm always someone that tries to push the envelope. And I'm
Right?
sure the other groups will probably look at me and say, I mean, they're looking at, oh, Ron, you're doing it that way? That's interesting. And they're gonna watch the results, and we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm building this group up from the beginning, from rebooting it. But again, is that I realized because of COVID that having one of every person is not as efficient. Having multiples is definitely more of a meal ticket for everyone.
And it makes sense. I
It
mean,
makes sense.
I don't know. No, let me go. I don't have the exact reason why. My gut tells me the whole one of because somebody somewhere who started the idea thought, I don't want any competition.
Yes, right.
So we can't have too many this or
Yes.
that. But we don't all do the same thing. You
Comp-
may do event
competition.
photography. I don't
Yes,
even
right.
touch newborns, okay?
I
I
don't do
am a
newborns either.
grandmother through marriage, but I'm an auntie all day. I don't touch newborns, right?
Mm-mm.
We don't
I tell
even
you,
attempt to
weddings
do
and
it,
babies. Weddings and babies is like,
right?
ah.
So if you had a wedding photographer or a newborn photographer in this group, we wouldn't be in competition.
That's
And
right.
even if we
Absolutely.
were, my voice and their voice are not the same thing.
Absolutely.
But
Wow.
you know, you know.
We
Oh
cover
my
a
god!
lot of
I can't
subject.
believe it's been like it's been like an hour and some change. My God,
Well,
that fast, huh?
yeah. You,
That
you know
fast,
you can
and
you know how good you can talk.
first of all,
Well, we can talk
I
all
will
day.
host.
We
I
could
will
talk
host and
all
just
day. We
we'll be
will
doing
talk
this the whole
all
entire
day.
time. The whole entire time. Before I guess I should say I guess we should be wrapping this up a little bit, but I will
Yes.
say this in terms of community and what have you, and the whole idea of doing this on YouTube versus a LinkedIn or Instagram is the owning your content. Okay,
Yes.
because
Yes.
we know oh, thank you, Spencer. I tell you, if I was still in New York City, if we really could be filing our taxes together because
Yes.
we would
Yes.
be common law, even though our sexual orientation does not match. The state be like, wait a minute, but I could have sworn we'd have to say like, are y'all sure about what's going on?
We would, I mean, well, it's so funny. I mean, and Gwendolyn is just as we both can be instigators. So there were friends of mine that never reach out. They never say hello. They don't call. They don't say how you doing. They don't check up on you. They're just like, however, it was my birthday, and Gwendolyn sends one of the most beautiful birthday wishes on Facebook. I would love to just want to say thank you to my husband. Ron, he has been such an amazing support and la 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 la. And I want to wish him the best birthday ever. Man, I had like 100 people that, it was like, when did you get married? How did you get married? Who's Gwendolyn? Who's this person?
I'm
I
in the
mean,
closet.
people that I hadn't heard from, and the next thing you know, I say, thank you from the best wife in the world. And now they got the exchange calls, and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe what's happening. When did this happen?" I mean, I had people DMing me. People were sliding into my DM that I haven't heard from in years.
Like, when did this go down?
Yes. And I said, Gwendolyn, you done opened up a can of worms. And then because we knew that there were people that was, just were nosy people. And so Gwendolyn says, "Oh, we're gonna keep this up."
We gonna run it. We gonna do it until we can't do it.
She said, "Let's run this for the 24 hours.
Oh my
Let's
God.
maximize this 24 hours." And it was
Man.
so fun. But what it shows you about people, especially in the world we live in today, is that people love some good gossip. They just
Don't
want,
they
they just
know?
want, they just wanted to know, like, when did this happen? How did it happen? And I was like, it's none of your business. But Gwendolyn will always say, because we were always on the same page. We could be in the
Yeah.
same room and someone walk in the room and we're like, in our heads, we're thinking the exact same thing. We're looking at each other. And we had another
Like,
third person. We had another person that was with us,
yes.
Biza. And
Business.
so it was the three of us. And they were like, what is
Yeah.
going on here? But it's wonderful when you meet people that you complement each other in
Mm-hmm.
your friendship, in your
Mm-hmm.
relationship. And it was so funny when Gwendolyn said, I met someone. I said, really? Who is he? Be-
We
because because it was like 3 weeks before that. She was like, well, I'll be a single for the rest of my life. I don't think anyone's gonna
It
come my
was.
way.
I was
And
in the empowerment.
then
Yeah.
she 3 weeks before, she was like, ain't happening. Ron, ain't happening. It's just the two. It's just the two of us. We're gonna grow
I
old
was,
together.
yes. Yes. I was
And then,
visiting. I was taking photos of you and taking photos of Bizza, and I was, on that darn dating app, and I was like, this is bullshit, man. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. And then weeks later, I'm like, oh, maybe. Now I will say this. Dear God, we gonna have to bring this back. But like Spencer, see, I met Spencer through Google Plus, which we'll
remember
have to talk
Google
about.
Plus?
Google will bring something and kill it so fast. It's just so disgusting, but
Yes,
whatever.
yes,
But
Google
even
Plus.
he was kind of like, you met somebody? What?
When you said you met some, I was like, excuse. I said, oh, he must be amazing, because Gwendolyn's standards are like way up there.
Hey, bring it or don't bother. Bring
Yes,
it. I knew him
Gwendolyn's
as my friend till
standards
he got in.
are.
Yeah.
She,
It's we are.
she don't give you the time
Oh,
of day. She has
yeah.
no time for foolishness, and
Zero,
zero
zero,
tolerance.
zero
And but I
tolerance.
remember that, and I said, this Ken must be the best thing on earth.
No, right? He's
I
awesome.
said,
He's a good dude. My
and I
dad,
said
my
he,
dad said it. My dad, like
mm,
when we were going through all of our things, um, my dad was like, "You've got a real one. That's for sure. Like you've got a real one." I thought, yeah, I got really lucky on this one. I really did. I got really lucky.
and not only
I
that, but it
can't.
was not only the luck of it, but that you had the awareness
Yes.
to know that it was on your doorstep.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just timing. I guess you could say timing, right place, right time. But everything has a reason for like why something happens. But
Yeah.
but Lord knows, I was like, I'm gonna give this thing one more week, and then I'm done. I'm out. Wasting my time with these people, and God, I mean, whew. But
She
I
said,
had the
swipe.
best
She's
content.
swipe
I
left,
had
swipe left.
the best content when I was dating. You can't make up some of this stuff. Like it just
No.
the stories just came. So my dating diary is still on YouTube, and it's ridiculous. Um, it's what it is. I'm like, you know what? This is just you can't make up this stuff. Speaking of which, that guy who tried to catfish me, and you were like, Gwendolyn, I need to stop. stop. Because I was like, who can play this game? And I went to trolling him
I
all
said,
over you. Like, what the
I said,
stop?
let it go. Let
You
it
call, you
go.
like, I need to let it go. I was like, but let it go. I was like, fine, whatever. But what we're not gonna do is try that. We're not gonna do that. But oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so. I'm looking at our comments here. Erica's got some great points about those groups. And
Yes.
that how she belongs to groups who will suggest her to other people, refer her to other people. And yes, Spencer, I will say that I have noticed a few companies sending out catalogs. Amazon is one. And
Mhm.
everybody thought when catalogs, when the internet came on the scene, people would stop using catalogs. That's a no, because our eyes can't take the screen all day. It's
Mm-mm.
exactly why catalogs
Mm-mm.
are still in place and still just as popular with the internet. So, yes, that's not going to go away. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll have to dive deeper into that. But thank you, Ron, for doing this first one. I'm going to figure out the whole linking thing because that didn't work out the way I wanted to. But for those who got the link, thank you for coming in and sharing with us. And, we are definitely going to invite Erica because Erica has tons of great knowledge as well. And
Yes.
perhaps Spencer can come and chat with us about
Oh,
storage and like
yes.
finding out how to really maximize our storage because he is like,
We need
he is
Spencer. Spencer,
good.
Gwendolyn, could you give Spencer my number?
Yes, I will send him your way because as much as I love having like external drives and getting all this stuff, if we just
Mm-hmm.
take that money and invest in one good time, then
Yes.
you don't have worry, and for what we do with all the videos and the images that we create,
We have so much content, and
I
that is
have a
what we
lot of
need.
content.
I
I've
have
had
a
a
lot
lot.
of content. Well,
I
I
have a
have a
lot.
lot. I have a
Yeah.
whole lot.
Yeah. I've been
But
moving
anyway,
stuff. So when did I start? 2 weeks ago, I started
uh-huh.
moving stuff out of my OneDrive
Mm-hmm.
into the NAS drive. And it takes a while because they're so
Hold your thought. Hold your
big.
thought. One moment.
Uh-oh. Not, oh, your sun is shifting. Gotta love when the sun starts to shift and it gets inside your face. I'm all out of iced coffee too. I just realized it. I mean, I kind of knew it as I'm. Yeah, it's gone. I think that's called gone, Gwendolyn. I think it's called gone. So while Ron is taking care of his lighting and what have you, yes, we are going to be bringing small biz bites. Uh, hey, thank you, the best. All right. Okay. We are going to be bringing back the small biz bites. We're going to bring it back to Instagram, YouTube, because I just want to own my content. Nothing against Instagram, but you have to fight to get your videos off of that. Same thing with like Facebook. You have to dig deep to find the link to download your content. LinkedIn, I haven't used it very often. But for those who have used it, they have found ways again to download it. I just rather have my content, own my content, and call it a day. So that is why I am bringing small biz bites here. But I will say this, because I love having different people share their expertise and share their art with whomever, wherever. By all means, if you want to bring it on up, we can bring it on up, bring it up. We'll bring you on up so that you can share your expertise and your art with all of those in the world as well. There's plenty of pie for all of us, plenty of pie. The cool thing about the Go Live Together is that you can actually cycle through visitors, guests. You can cycle through guests. All we have to do is send you the link, but you can only have one guest at a time. Time for wine. Girl, you already know it's time for wine.
Sorry about that, guys.
So you're good. I was just sharing that moving forward, this is where we'll be in terms of small biz bites. Like I want to own my content and not have it on Instagram and Facebook. I'll probably share a snippet there, but if I'm going to host it, it'll be hosted here. That's where it's going to be hosted. And then I'll be
Well,
looking for more people.
well,
But
what people have been doing is that they will go on. I mean, especially as you start building your audience, is that
Hmm.
you can start, let's say, 15 minutes or 20 minutes on your Instagram, and then you can tell your audience, meet me in the YouTube as you
So we'll
begin
talk.
to continue to start.
So we'll do that.
Yeah,
So we'll do it on the next one. We'll do it on the next one. We'll do it
yeah.
that way. But I rather just have my own content, not have to fight other people for it and have to figure out how to download it. I don't have time for that. I'm getting too old for some of those things. Speaking of which, let me go ahead.
Grandma,
See, you're laughing
grandma.
about it. I'm gonna go ahead and say right now. So, I have 7 months of content created. Don't even judge me. But Monday is self love. Monday is self love day, and it just so happens that Gwendolyn recorded a video about aging. Aging,
Mm.
and I'm gonna tell you this real quick, and I don't mind putting out there because I'm 47, looking pretty goddamn good. But these chin hairs, bruh, I had to like shave the chin hair last night. Change is real. The change is all kinds of real. So that video will be posted on Monday. I went
Oh
there.
my.
I went all kinds of TMNI. Yes. So,
You
so
are.
there you go. I mean, I was like, God damn it! Like, really, another
I,
one? Yeah.
I, 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 I think your YouTube channel is going to do very good. I think it's going to be great, and you have the personality for it, and I think it's definitely going to get a lot of. And again, like you said, the good thing about having it, and I mean, eventually we'll all be on YouTube at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I plan to go there at some point too. But
Mhm.
what's good about the YouTube format is, again, like I shared today on my platform, is that your content and your description, people can find your content
Yeah.
according to the subject matter. Can't do
Mhm.
that on Instagram. You can't
No.
do that on Facebook.
No. No.
Once you do
Mm-mm.
it, it's done, and that's it. It's just a video.
It's just,
But
yeah.
it's just a video. But now on YouTube, you can definitely segregate
You
your
can search it.
content,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
people can search it according to the subject.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a
So,
good time this year. We're gonna have fun this year. We're gonna make it work. And I'm like,
and you
I'm
know
gonna figure
what?
some of this stuff out.
And as usual, you're going to be my inspiration. You're
I
you're
know.
you're pioneering this technology, and then I'll be like this, Gwendolyn. How did that work? How did
I
that work?
know.
So when I go
Oh,
live, I'll be ready because Gwendolyn already went through and learned the kinks and the
hey,
crevices.
I'm gonna figure some stuff out.
Oh yeah,
We gonna figure some kinks out. We definitely will. Oh my goodness, Ron! It's always great chatting with you, sir.
always.
Always a pleasure. Always a
This is how
pleasure.
this is how we do.
All the topics, all the content,
Yes,
all the
this is
things.
this is how we do
Oh,
it. And Gwendolyn will call me. She'll be on the road and she'll say, "I'm on my way. I'm on my way to Houston. I'm on my way."
it's always on the way to Houston. Spencer
And
knows those calls.
I just say, "Let's talk."
That
I'll
we
be talking.
will. I should probably never ever have those things published ever. Like it's just not family friendly. I mean, that colored commentary got all kinds of color. Stuff was smattering as we're
So
driving. You're like, oh goodness. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And yes, I'm gonna get Spencer your info, Ron, so that you can get your NAS drive as well.
thank you, Spence. I can't wait to talk to you because I am like, I need some education.
Education. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a safe weekend.
Thank you. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.